Welcome to Thieves' Cant, a tabletop gaming podcast with your hosts, Jeremy Shane and Chris White.
Welcome in. Welcome back. Another episode of Thieves' Cant. It is Thursday, January 15th. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
Thanks for listening, subscribing at Thieves' Cant Cast. You can email thievescantcast@gmail.com. Today, Chris, we're going to talk about what makes a good tabletop RPG player. 5 things good players do to make a great game, at least in our opinion.
They kill everything.
They ask no questions.
Yeah. They take no quarter.
And expect none in return. You know, I mean, we could easily talk about things that bad RPG players do.
Yeah. And we also tend to focus on game masters a lot. You know, what a good game master does or strategies. Because, I mean, there's a lot on their shoulders.
Right.
But not all players are created equal. I mean, there are some just good players.
And there are habits that those players put into practice, and not all of which I can say I do. I mean, we're going to talk about things today, Chris, that I struggle with, that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a great player. I enjoy playing, but I wouldn't call myself a good player.
And I kind of nailed them all, but it's okay. No, just kidding, obviously.
Without further ado, we'll jump in. 5 things good RPG players do. The first one, Chris, I think this is important, and it's one that I struggle with.
Yeah.
They know the rules, at least the ones that their character utilizes.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to coach every player through every turn.
Right. I mean, we all obviously allow a lot of grace for a new player that's learning the system, right? When it's their turn and they're like, what do I do?
Yeah, what does this mean?
What I guess I attack. What do I need to roll? Like, we all get that.
Yeah, new players are kind of a separate issue.
Yes, like we all love onboarding new players and seeing people get to enjoy that for the first time. But when you're an experienced player, it is frustrating when every round is like your first round, right? I mean, it doesn't take a lot of effort to learn those mechanics. And again, maybe part of this is recognizing your limitations. And that it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. Like, for example, knowing your limitations. I really need to stop playing spellcasters. Just stop with it, because I'm never going to have all of my spells committed to memory.
Right.
And at the same time, I hate flipping through a rule book in the middle of play, trying to find out what my abilities do. So that tells me I'm probably going to have a better experience and help other people have a better time if I just play something that I can handle a little more straightforward.
Right. And also, you're kind of the analog guy, right?
Right.
Like, you want to avoid a lot of digital stuff. I can play I never played a caster until I had digital tools. I'm way too lazy. So I'm the same way. I'm not going to memorize it, but that's the appeal to me of a lot of those digital tools, is it's very easy for me to maneuver those things at that point. So it kind of opens it up for me. But maybe it's recognizing, hey, you know what? I don't want to keep up with this as much. Maybe I should play something that's a little easier to manage.
Yeah.
But either way, know what your character can do and how they can do it. I mean, you'll always have questions. That's not a bad thing, but on the regular, you should have a pretty good idea of what you're capable of and what the rules allow you to do.
Yeah. If you're playing a paladin, know how your smite works.
Right. If I'm playing a paladin, if I want to take advantage of it, I need to learn the rules on mounted combat, because there's a good chance the GM may not know that, right?
There's a great chance.
And so I'm going to have to, I can help him, right? Because this is my character. It's relevant to my character. If I focus in on that, a rule set that's not the norm, then I can help the whole thing be a lot more fluid.
Number 2, they engage with the fiction, not just the mechanics. They're asking questions. They're describing their actions. they're remembering that this is a narrative game, regardless of how many mechanics the game uses. It's those mechanics are there to help us tell a story. So engage with the game in a way that story continues to grow and bloom.
Yeah, they engage with every aspect of the game. And this is a big part of it. This is part of the immersion. This is what makes a game special.
Right.
At the end of the day, rolling dice is fun.
Sure.
But that's not what makes, generally, barring the extremes on either end, that's not what makes a session memorable. And so what they're not doing is playing on their phone or talking while other people are trying to play the game. They're focused on the game, having fun, sure. Obviously, but these are the people that keep it interesting. They're engaged with the game. And as a GM, that makes a huge difference. It doesn't feel good when the whole party's staring down at their phone during the session.
No, you need engagement from the players. And number 3, those players, as they engage with the fiction, as they're asking those questions, as they're getting into everything, they also realize that you've got to share that spotlight.
Yeah.
And if you can, the best players, they're not just sharing it. They are finding opportunities to push it off onto another player, to shine it on another player. Yeah. It all can't be about you all the time. Mm-hmm. Your character might have the coolest story going, right? And it's tempting, even on the GM side then, to recognize that and say, oh, yeah, let's just focus on this. So while the GM has the responsibility of making sure that everybody is being spotlighted, the players have an obligation to make sure that they're not demanding too much or hoarding too much. Know when it's time to close your mouth for a little bit and just observe. Mm-hmm. And some of the most fun moments that I have as a player are watching other players squirm in their, under with a decision that they have to make or an interaction that they're having that is cinematic or dramatic in some way. And I get to sit back and just watch it like give me some popcorn. This is so good.
I completely agree. And I think the acid test here is, can you have fun on other people's terms?
Yeah.
That's really the question. For me, this is why I always appreciated, Treant Monk and his God Wizard, because it's basically this character that is really more powerful than anyone else there. But everything they're doing is manipulating reality so that everyone else can excel. I'm buffing this person. I'm debuffing this enemy. I'm maneuvering this person to an advantageous position. I'm putting up this wall so that these other enemies can't get to them and they can have the fight. And so at the end of the day, everybody else feels like they really achieved something, so that's even in a mechanical application of being support.
Yeah, it can be great in combat just to set others up for success.
Right.
All right. Number 4, good RPG players commit to choices, like make a decision, right? And I'm guilty of hemming and hawing and some analysis paralysis and, well, why don't you guys just decide? No, just commit to something, even and sometimes especially when the choice is messy.
Mm-hmm. I have to deviate for just a moment. I was listening to an analysis of Tolkien in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And what they pointed out was the best characters in the book second guess themselves and their choices constantly. The ones who are assured that they are right in every decision are generally the maniacs.
Right.
It's the Denethors. Right?
Yeah, right.
But Gandalf, like when Gandalf is like, I have to go save Faramir from his father, but we're fighting a battle down here. He even says in the books, he's like, how many will be lost because I go? But I think I have to do this.
I have to do it. He commits.
Right. And so he commits to this difficult situation. And that's something.
Yeah.
I used to work with a fellow, and he would always say, I made a decision. The company may not agree that it was the right one, but I made a decision. And that's a big part of it. Is sometimes you just have to say, all right, this is what we're doing. Now, sometimes that's on those famous last words list, right?
Right.
Like hold my beer, right? But
But ultimately, most of the time, committing to a choice and just leaning into it feeds the narrative. It makes for a better story. Whatever the outcome may be, maybe it is final last words, but you know what? The story moved forward as a result. I don't like stall outs at the table. And I am as guilty as anyone as being the source of a stall out. but I still recognize it as a problem.
This is where we need the timer.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, let's go. Let's just do it. There's a psychology here that you've got to get to the bottom of that, even though we recognize we're playing a role-playing game and there's the win condition is, did we have fun? Was it a cool story? Not, did I survive? Did I get what I wanted as a character?
Well, heroic last stands are a thing. And that's obviously a character that made the decision, I'm holding this ground, no matter what, for whatever reason. Those can be some of the most powerful moments.
We'll round out the list here with number 5. Good players accept consequences. So this is a natural offshoot from number 4. Number 4, you commit to choices. Number 5, whatever the outcome is, roll with it, accept it. Seen some tensions build at game tables in the past. Thankfully, not recently at our table. You can tell when somebody is not pleased with the direction of things.
The DM killed my polar bear.
True story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now as a player, I'm angry.
Right.
And it's one thing for your character to have friction.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have friction as a player.
You get attached to characters, and sometimes that attachment can become emotional. And sometimes things don't go the way you want. We roll dice for a reason. There's chance,
right?
But it's just part of being a mature adult is recognizing that this is a game. Sometimes things won't go the way I want them to. Generally, I have less trouble with the character dying and more trouble when something just makes the character seem dumb, just like falling on their face, just something embarrassing.
Or just something arbitrary.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Just roll with the punches. And, as long as the GM is being fair in the things they're doing, that chance that bad things will happen to your character is part of what makes the game exciting. And it's recognizing that.
So that's our 5. There are plenty of other things that good players do. Why don't we make this our question of the week? We haven't thrown one of these out yet this week. So question of the week, what do good players do? What are the habits that we can take on as TTRPG players that will benefit the game as a whole?
I know you left the biggest one, which was number 6 off the table. They're the ones, they're buying the pizza.
Yeah.
That's
call.
What good players do.
Comment down below, email thievescantcast@gmail.com, and that'll do it for today. Chris, we're back tomorrow for our Friday show. We're going to play a new game. It's called Chris Makes the Call.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
You'll find out more tomorrow.
All right.
Have a great day. Enjoy some gaming. It's been Thieves Cant. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
So long.
Thank you for listening to Thieves Cant. Email thievescantcast@gmail.com.